welcome to Meditation 67 of the Dudeist and Taoist Te Ching. For today's meditation, Brother Neil has brought you to the closed public works facility of the city of Derry. Until very recently, I didn't know the city of Derry existed. And it looks like it no longer does. And over there it says Capital, and the marquee says, "Thanks for the memories, Derry." So there you have it. I brought you here because in 1919, Dwight Goddard titled Meditation 67, Compassion. This is a rather long one, but it's important. The Tao is by nature immaterial, yet all the world calls it great. It is because the Tao does not put on appearances that it is great. When a person puts on a show trying to appear great, their mediocrity is soon exposed. The Tao has three treasures, which the wise guard and cherish. The first is compassion. The second is economy. And the third is humility. If you are compassionate, you can be truly courageous. If you are economical, you can be truly generous. If you are humble, you can be truly helpful. If you are brave but lack compassion, are generous but lack economy, and try to help others but lack humility, you've lost the way. Compassion leads to victory in battle and safety in defense. Fortune blesses the compassionate. So says Lao Tzu. Dwight interpreted Lao Tzu this way. Though everyone knows the Tao is great, it appears utterly confounding. Of course, it is only because it is confounding that it can remain so great. If its meaning could be so easily picked apart, it would have long ago lost its value. Here are three great virtues for mankind to treasure. The first is compassion. The second is moderation. The third is humility. Compassion gives rise to courage. Moderation gives rise to prosperity. And humility gives rise to cooperation. However, one can be courageous without compassion, prosperous without moderation, and cooperative without humility. But this goes against the way of Tao, and so will usher in a great decay. Above all, compassion can accomplish anything, from winning a war to protecting a populace. Truly everything that occurs in nature is predicated upon and preserved by compassion. And the Dudeist version is a bit more direct. That's wind. Maybe it's a bird. It may seem that the dude is a bum, but at the same time, he is the man for his time and place. What the fuck are you talking about? Dude, this is both a complicated case and a simple plan. It is only because the dude is both simple and complicated that he can call himself the dude. If a man gets too complex, something always goes wrong. And if a man is too simple, he is like a child who wanders into the middle of a movie. Here are three highly commendable commendations. The first is abiding. The second is restraint. And the third is not being a fucking asshole. In abiding, one does not worry. With restraint, one gets out of things cheap. By not being a fucking asshole, nothing is fucked here. Those who can't worry about shit but cannot abide, who take things easy but perhaps too easy, or who are not wrong but are still fucking assholes, they are fucking this up. Only abiding overcomes all and is bested by none. It can win a foot soldier's war, provide for inner-city children of promise, and give comfort to strangers. Truly everything is preserved by abiding. It is nature's heaviest bowling ball, its biggest scissors, and its most beautiful plan, a Swiss fucking watch. Very nice, Neil, but what's all that mean? Well, here's some notes from Dwayne Yutzi and myself. The three virtues of the Tao Te Ching, often translated as 3 jewels, are among the most oft-referred aspects of Taoism. Aside from the self-evidently appealing nature of these notions, there are logical reasons why Taoism advocates these 3 virtues above all others. They are compassion, moderation, and humility. Imagine, if you will, a religion that advocated cold-heartedness, greed, and arrogance. Up ahead, at the next signpost, the Twilight Zone. Though its followers might make impressive territorial gains at the get-go, followers of such a cold-hearted greed and arrogance would probably find it hard to cooperate with each other. Furthermore, after being feared and vilified by the general populace, they'd be forced to go underground. Their numbers would dwindle, and ultimately, they'd end up as a footnote to history. From the point of view of any natural system with limited resources, selfish, negative, and usurping qualities are like cancers. Any system that seeks to take advantage of them will be obliged to banish or even destroy them. Conversely, a group that shows goodwill and inclusion towards others is prone to grow broader and stronger as it attracts more followers, looking to share in its power. This obviously didn't happen to the Dairy Public Works. Its system of ethics would have to demand compassion, generosity, and openness in order to maintain a sustained influx of followers. Economies of scale would dictate that the group's power would be greater than that of the sum of its members, and a feedback loop of increasing resources and influence would be set in motion. Increased courage, prosperity, and cooperation would result from all of this, one would think. Whereas many religions advocate compassion, moderation, and humility because some supernatural force like God or karma commands it, this meditation illustrates how comparatively pragmatic and rational Taoism can be. Aware that the 3 virtues it advocates are not mandatory precursors for strength and power, the Tao Te Ching nevertheless asserts that without their bottom-up organic foundation and momentum, the secondary virtues of courage, prosperity, and cooperation would be doomed to fail, built as they would be upon sand rather than solid earth. We can see the same roots over flowers metaphor at work here as we did in Meditation 38. Compassion from the Taoist point of view is then not some woolly emotional imperative propped up by fear of punishment or karmic retribution. Rather, it's understood as fundamental to the workings of human systems, the glue that binds us together into something much greater than ourselves. No man is an island, nor is he a rock. Suggests not only the idea that we are all interconnected, but also that without connection to a system bigger than ourselves, we would all die off very quickly. The same can be said about systems of belief. Though The Big Lebowski has a fantastic cast of characters, We could argue that the main protagonists are not people, but philosophies. It's as if the Coen brothers put all the main 20th century worldviews on display for us at the end of the 20th century and let us see for ourselves which should be allowed to make it to the finals. They are represented this way. Jeffrey Lebowski, the old-school conservative tycoon who follows an individualistic Puritan ethos upon which the right wing tends to claim the American project had been predicated. Walter Sobchak, the libertarian who advocates complete individual freedom as the ultimate goal, initiated by a near total eradication of government influence. The Jesus who represents the failure of religious elitism as a binding force, revealed in the hypocrisy and perversion of its priesthoods. Smokey, the frail and beaten down pacifist, a tragic remnant of the earnest but abortive 1960s revolution. Bunny, the hedonic consumerist who abandons the simple life for the seduction of easy cash, placing easy money at the top of her moral pyramid. The nihilist, who suggests the pointlessness of all established structures and systems as proposed by 20th century postmodernist philosophy and its academic legacy. Jackie Treehorn, who implies that moral judgment, civic power, and political advocacy belong in the hands of the rich instead of the righteous. Maud Lebowski, who represents the dissolution of Western common culture into mere self-referential narcissism. Donnie, a stand-in for the enfeebled everyman, who is beaten into silence and sickness by a world that doesn't care about him. And then finally, as if in answer to all of these negative and divisive notions and states of affairs, we have the Dude. He's the man for his time and place. As we've discussed, there are many things that set the Dude apart from all the other characters. However, from the point of view of Dudeism, the thing that makes him truly remarkable is that he sees the world and its inhabitants not as a series of obstacles or impediments, but as an endless banquet. Sure, it may be messy and disappointing at times, but it's also stuffed with endless pleasure and potential. The Dude's compassion is far greater than merely feeling sorry for other people or trying to help where he can. Rather, his compassion for the living is tied together with his relaxed passion for life itself. It takes no effort for him to care about people and things because they are all integral parts of the whole darn human comedy. From this point of view, the Dude abides, harbors yet another meaning that in loving the world, the Dude is committed to it like a celestial spouse. Thus, the Dude Way is a cogent answer to all those suspect philosophies of the 20th century. We can't be worried about that shit. Life goes on. The Tao instructs us that so long as we help increase the net flourishing of vitality in the world and avoid the extreme temptations of nihilism or parochialism, we'll make it to the finals and die with smiles on our faces, without thinking that the good world gypped us. And there you have it, kids. That will conclude meditation, whatever this was. It's been a long time. Peace and good health always. Much better health than dairy.